Hello everyone, welcome to the Advancement Centre and welcome to the world of magic and miracles, where once again we gather in a space that we can't define, somewhere well above the workings of the world and well above our own workings, where we can feel our majestic being and we can feel the presence of that unique communication that we have with our own world. That world is part of the world of the Creator, and we now explore it in such a way that we don't disturb anyone, and that our communication is that of our origin, which we call language of the stars. In saying that, we know beyond a doubt that we understand everything, and we don't have to convert it to physical words. We know when somebody's present. We know when there's a past relative standing in front of us. We know what they're saying. We also know if someone's about to call us, or if there's someone in the room that's not so nice. We know if it's going to be a good day for weather or a heavy day. All these things we know through that communication system that has never been defined. So today, we're going to open that up a little bit so that each of you can feel what it feels like from one another. That communication system is exciting. It is much more than anything we've ever spoken about, because now it's solid in the physical world, just as it is solid in your world of your Creator, and totally to your specifications. You can do what you like with it, and you can gather the entities that surround you and have a party, enjoy their presence, enjoy the reality that we haven't enjoyed before. And right now, I'm feeling extremely excited because I know that the majority of humanity understands what I'm talking about, not from a brain point of view, not from a thought point of view or from any analysis, but a deep knowing that's always been there for everyone, that has suddenly been allowed to come to the surface and be a reality in the physical world. As we continue, that reality seems to take over. It has more to it than the various parts of the world. And even though we get disturbance in the physical world, there's no disturbance in the world of your Creator. Right now, we've got a helicopter flying past, but it doesn't take away from our position in that galactic sense where we're part of the universe. We can actually see our world as the universe, and we can allow it to grow exponentially in such a way that everybody wants to see it. Everybody wants to know about you. Everybody wants to know, what have you got to offer in the world? But they're not saying it. They look at you and they smile because you're glowing, you're excited, and you're almost ready to burst with all the joy that you have and all the things you have to offer everyone. And there's no need to convert it into physical words, because you are actually expressing it by saying nothing. It's bouncing out of you everywhere. And the glow is obvious to everyone. The sparkle in your eyes even attracts the flies. Everything that we have is actually standing in front of us right now for everyone to see. Our brilliance, our capability in areas that have never been expressed before are now ready to be displayed. And everyone will have a change of direction, even the fly. We're having an enormous feeling of change around us every minute. And even when we focus on the strange things that are happening in the world, it's still enormous change. But the greatest thing is what's building inside of each person, and building a massive confidence in the fact that they are a majestic being with capabilities beyond technology, beyond anything that's ever been presented in the world. Abilities that have never been even discussed. And you practice in the silence of your own knowing. You haven't even one idea how you do some things, and you don't need to. But if you want to attract a person, you attract a person. If you need someone to contact you, somehow it happens. If you need to meet up with someone in another country and you don't know how it's possible, the synchronicities come together and it happens. If you want your phone to operate and there's no signal, somehow the signal becomes available. So there are things that we can play with that we don't really know anything about. We just know that we're experts at using them. And that's the simplicity of the whole thing. You don't have to know how about anything. And really, after you learn how to ride a bicycle, you don't have to know how to ride a bicycle. You just get on and ride it. Writing is the same. Walking, talking. Any feat that you come across has a function that seems to be simple and automatic. And that's the part of us that we're now exploring. We've been out there in the stars. We've been above everything. We've watched from the other side of the earth. We've watched from the other side of the room. And now we're walking with eyes open in both places at once, so that the excellence that we can experience by daydreaming is actually available to us while we walk around with our eyes open, while we speak, while we do all the tasks that we thought were mundane. And the brilliance that comes to us is still overwhelmingly surprising as it appears. You sometimes don't know where it came from, but you did it. You spoke it. You presented it to the world. Even in your daily work, there are things you do that totally surprise you. And now all we have to do is walk with that, and with the glow that we have, and with the abilities that come from nowhere, and let them all appear at once, all around us and all around everyone else, in this world that we think is all upside down, the world that we think is not working so well. All of a sudden, we can make it work perfectly, even with everything going on, because we have a function that is not written down, that we are the source of all the income of all the planet and of the universe. And the fact that we're being controlled into a corner just says, well, we didn't see that we were doing it. So now you can see you don't have to do it. You can make it look like anything you want and make it feel totally different. You can make hot feel cold. You can make cold feel hot. You can make your touch extend for thousands of miles. You can solidify the energy around you and make people feel it. You can increase people's capability by just projecting your capability into their field. You don't have to do anything to anybody, you just make it available. And you can solve any problem, but you don't have to go and do it. You put it out there in the fields so that others who are responsible for doing things physically can pick up on exactly what works instead of picking up on exactly what doesn't work. So our projection and our gift in the physical world is now becoming a reality. We're now actually allowing one another to take whatever is needed of the skills, of the gifts that are duplicated simply by association, and use those gifts to the maximum. And we keep giving, and that's how it works. You don't even think about what you receive because you are the source. You generate everything for everybody in the world because it's your world, and you're the sole owner of it. Nobody else knows what's happening in your world. And even when you tell them, they still don't see it the same way as you do. The balance is in the fact that none of us interfere with one another. We just make everything better. It's like the smile when a young child is about to walk. The encouragement happens through the transmission that you send in a fraction of a second. And they gradually pick up on it and switch their own on. They do a little bit of comparison and then they say, no, I do it my way. And a sense of independence comes out of that child because they can do it their way. So as you can see, everything we do in our life is to enhance what everybody else brings into the world, or what everybody else is offering as their gift, through that majestic being that is much, much bigger than even the earth. So our next step is the one that's most important, and you don't have to select it. You just step and you start the dance, and the thrill of that dance is what enhances everyone. And you can feel yourself build on that instantly, because that dance is your dance, the universal, out of this world presentation of totally random sequences that impress everyone. So it's not about thought, it's not about proving anything, it's about you being you. And the you that we talk about is that universal you that's everywhere, that can be on a plane, on a train, looking down on the Alps, overseeing the skiers, on the other side of the room, visiting your parents, at a friend's place, without any thought. You're at all those places at once, instantly, and I didn't have to coax you one bit. That's the person we talk to, the person that is now able to express by some means the fact that they can be everywhere. They are everywhere, and they are making a difference. Not to the news, not to a conflict, but to everyone in those places and in every other place. And everything. Because most of what you hear is not what you see. So we're now in a position where we can actually project ourselves, change our focus and be in the exact place where we can make a difference. And that can be beside a young child when they're wondering what they're going to do next. Your excellence and your brilliance will actually change the course of that life. You can be beside someone when they're in the traffic and they're getting upset, and all of a sudden your presence will change their whole attitude without you doing anything except being everywhere, allowing yourself to be everywhere, and allowing all your channels to open, close nothing off, allow all the brilliance, all the great feelings, all the heartfelt desires to flow out every channel. And there are billions, and they will feed back to you in an individual manner what's required by each person. Just as I do when I speak, I know a connection is established, and I know what's needed, not in words, but in the interaction, and it's individual for each person. And it's not based on time. As you speak, you're delivering something that's timeless, and someone can listen in a year's time, 2 years' time, 5 years' time, and what's being said will be applicable right then. Not in a literary sense, but in a sense of feeling and understanding, of reading between the lines, if you like. So everything I deliver is timeless, and everything you deliver is timeless. And there's nothing that you have to do except be aware that it's true. Not by convincing yourself, just be aware that it's true, and all of a sudden it will happen. I often speak about great singers who can stand in an arena and sing and have their voice come from each stand that are many hundreds of yards away from one another, so that the whole voice that's heard by everyone is synchronized, and it even picks up correctly on the video cameras. They don't have to compensate for a really good singer, because you can sing from everywhere. You can deliver your voice quicker than the speed of sound, so that it's synchronized with your mouth, no matter where the person is looking from. It's a good thing to try. And we often get ourselves into a position where we wonder how that brilliance is demonstrated in other people. That's when you can be a connoisseur of life, where you actually are the receiver of the brilliant message from that person and from all those who can and do make it possible. That's the feedback that comes into all your senses. Feedback that makes you relax and open all your channels at the same time and allow a beautiful interaction between maybe millions of people all around the globe, all at different times, but totally synchronized. So in a week's time, if you hear the same thing, you feel everybody involved and everything. And as a result, your life is better and everybody's life is better, simply because the person who delivered it made you feel so that you could do a lot of good by just opening all your channels and being everywhere. So as you produce things in the world, add that level of majesty so that what we call magic is actually real. Add the mystery, add the feeling, and know that it will last forever. Add your elegance and watch the elegance of everybody start to show. We're now way past all the changes that have been predicted in this century. We're now into actually living what was promised, because it's all here, it's all delivered. And from anything in the range of technical to beyond this world, you can extend to anywhere and increase its effect on the world. You can make a painting by a junior artist look brilliant just by your appreciation. You can make a person's movements smoother, easier, just by deciding to. And it takes a fraction of a second. And you can do it continually throughout the day, throughout the night, because there's a part of you that never goes to sleep. And that's the part that we're all interested in. That's the part that's consistent, that keeps us alive. And it's called life. It exists. It's not something that you have to chase. And it's not something that's made up. Its elegance and its overwhelming beauty takes us to where we've never been before in a fraction of a second, whenever we wish. So the life that I live now is so beautiful every minute, even with what we call ups and downs. Your life is the same. With eyes wide open, you can look down on the stars, as well as looking at somebody straight in the face. You can look through somebody's eyes, from behind them, and see what they see. You can have all sorts of different interactions with space beings. And for many people, if I just said, go and have a look at the control panel on your ship, boom, they're there straight away. They don't have to think about anything. Take yourself to the stars, take yourself to the pyramids, to Egypt, to any of those places that are historical, and you're there. But you didn't have to move 1 inch. There'll be those who have to move around, who have to influence people directly. But in general, enjoy your life, not by doing things, but by going beyond all barriers, finding yourself standing in the middle of nowhere with nothing around you except all the sparkles. Touch one, see what it brings. You'll be amazed. You'll be amazed at what characteristic that opens up in you, because you have multi-billions of inputs that will amplify any time you wish. And so, to be like a fairy, to be like Tinkerbell, is nothing new. It's so familiar to you. There's just the human embarrassment that was placed on us when we were children. But now, that doesn't work, because you can actually touch a sparkle, watch it enhance your life, and watch it enhance everybody's life around you. That is one of the greatest things that you can do as a magician, to touch one sparkle and brighten everybody's life. And everyone will feel it, I can guarantee. The experts have been studying this for hundreds of years, and they haven't come up with anything that they can even write on paper. But they're fully aware of it, and they're fully aware of the capabilities of humanity. So let's demonstrate it, and let's show that we are real, and we don't have to prove it to anyone except ourselves. So enjoy every moment, and wish one another all the best in everything. And then you will find your energy field will just light up, and it will enhance everybody's world the way you see it should. And continue, as we've always done, to wish everybody a perfect life, perfect health, and a really magic future. Thank you.